Good morning, true crime friends. How you doing? Listen, yesterday, trial day 3, Brian Walshe. Honey, so many gruesome pictures in court, but don't you worry about it. I'm going to tell you every single thing that happens, and you will not need to go to therapy at all. But first, you know what you need to do. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it out, and hype the video. Wait, have you gotten your top 5 from YouTube yet? Who's on your list? Oh, am I on your list? I would be so honored if I was. Send me a screenshot on one of my socials. I'm on all of these things. Okay, so look. Regardless, me and you, we're going to get to 30,000 subscribers together. So yesterday, when trial day 3 started, the tech expert from the police was back on the stand for the cross-examination. Listen, please know I'm using tech expert kind of euphemistically because it seems like he's not really that experty. He had a lot of trouble explaining things. He's like, like technical stuff. If you don't know, I can't help you. And I was like, sir, how are you? Okay. Please just tell us what you have to tell us so you can go on and go. So the cross-examination, Attorney Tipton, good morning, Attorney Tipton. He's real fiery and passionate about his case. He's going to lose super duper bad, in my opinion. But I really like the gusto with which he delivers all of his questions. And he was like, okay, so Brian had access to iMessages, right? Or did he? And the tech expert was like, no. So that you and I are on the same page. The iMessages are the messages, like the text messages that Anna was getting on her iPhone, her iPad, unclear. We know this was an Apple family, right? And so if you have one of those Apple accounts, you could link it to your iPad and your computer and your phone and everything so that everything is sort of cross-pollinates. So if you started writing a message or communicating with somebody on your iPad, you can put that iPad down and pick up your phone and finish the message. We suspect that Brian had tapped in to Anna's Apple account so he could see her messages that she was sharing with her boyfriend. But the police have not been able to prove yet that that was the case. And I was like, okay, so according to this expert, when asked, could Brian see Anna's messages? He was like, no, not that we could prove. And then he was like, so Brian's Google searches, right? He asked some questions, maybe not the best questions, but did he ask what is dead body disposal? Sir, isn't it self-explanatory? Like, Brian Walshe, you didn't know what dead body disposal was. I mean, it seems you did. You figured it out. Maybe Uncle Google helped you because you certainly figured out how to do it. And the tech expert was like, And then Attorney Tipton was like, right, but he didn't mention capital M, the red rum, like he didn't mention shuffling her off to the Endless Heaven buffet. Did he? Okay, he still cut her up though. If he didn't use the M word to describe what, okay. Anyway, the tax expert was like, no, When he first started Googling, he had not used the M word. We can't say that word here on the Tubes of You because I'm not trying to get like in YouTube jail. I don't know what they do to you really, but I don't want it. That's all I know. And then the attorney asked, right, so did Brian Google cool ways to be buried? Cool ways to be buried. I can't. Brian, sir, no. I mean, if I have already shuffled off to the Endless Heaven buffet, okay, bury me however you want. I really do not care. But cool ways to be buried? Yikes. So yeah, he Googled that. And the attorney was like, right, but did he mention red rum? Did he mention the capital M? And the expert was like, no. But he was Googling how to bury his wife. Yikes. And the attorney was like, right, 6 hours into searching, that's when he added the word, the M word to his searches. And the tech expert was like, right. You know that doesn't make it better, right? That doesn't make it better. Are you living on the same planet with us? Right. It took him 6 hours to fully confess, but he was in the privacy of his own home and he thought nobody was ever going to see these searches. So you made a point without making a difference, in my opinion. And then this ignorant Mama Luke Googled best ways to dispose of a body quietly. Okay. I don't quietly. these qualifiers are killing me, much like Brian Walshe did to his wife. And then he also Googled, the lawyer asked, but did he try and destroy his search history? Did he try to like erase it or whatever? And the expert was like, no, he didn't try to destroy it. Mostly because he was stupid. He was just like, I'm going to give them my iPad, but not my phone. And they'll never see all the things that I Googled on my laptop because I'm the smartest man in the room. That was what Brian was thinking. The rest of the real world where we know how computers work are like, sucker, what? What are you? How are you? What is wrong with you? Other searches that he had, Katie Holmes' divorce. Does that seem random to you? I was like, how did Katie Holmes come up in this case? Poor Katie just catching strays out of nowhere. Katie is like, I'm over here minding my business, trying to raise my child, being glad I'm out of the Scientology, Hail Xenu. And why am I in this? And then Brian Googled Blue Nile. Okay, that's the jewelry company. He checked his bank account, and then he was looking at Porsche 911s. Okay, in my opinion, I have decided that he was deciding how to spend all that life insurance money that he was going to be able to collect. Child, that's the gospel according to Kathy. I don't know what this stupid man was doing because I try not to have real dumb thoughts like him. So I don't know what was going through his head. Then he started Googling things about body smell, like not BO. Sort of BO, but like dead BO. You know what I'm saying? He waited 3 days to start Googling like, how long before a body starts to smell? What does dead body smell like? Sir. And the lawyer was like, right, but he wasn't Googling how to mask dead body smell. He was just asking like, general questions about corpses that are like breaking down and decaying. The tech expert was like, right, yeah, no. He waited a couple days to ask about how you can make it smell better. Hi, Attorney Tipton. Listen, you are a really, really good defense attorney. And I really, really am enjoying the show that you are giving us in this trial. None of this makes it better, right? It doesn't make it better. He didn't use the M word. It took him a couple days to start Googling, does baking soda make a dead body smell good? Hey, Brian Walshe, our resident idiot. Nothing makes a dead body smell good. Nothing. Good is relative, obviously, but like, And then the attorney was like, and he gave you all his devices, right? And the tech was like, no. He gave us the phones. He gave us the iPads, the mini iPads, which, y'all, Attorney Tipton called the iPad mini a mini pad. Sir, I understand that you may not know what a mini pad is. You think an iPad mini and a mini pad are the same thing. They are not. All the ladies in the chat and probably some of the gentlemen were like, he did what? A mini pad is a feminine hygiene product for those light days when you want to feel fresh. It's a panty liner, sir. Did somebody pull you to the side? I know some of the women in the office are like, don't say mini pad. Please stop saying mini pad. Kotek's going to be real mad at you. And everybody is giggling behind your back. So he somehow got iPad mini stuck in his brain now that he spent the whole first day of the trial talking about mini pads. And the tech was like, oh, he gave us the iPads and stuff, but he did not give us his MacBook where clearly all of the main really, really incriminating searches were going down. And then finally, at long last, the expert could get off the stand. This poor expert, you could tell his back hurt. Apparently in another trial, there was a hot mic moment where he was just like, ugh, kill me. He didn't say that in this trial, but his whole face and demeanor and the way he walked off the stand were like, my back hurt. I got on this suit. I can't stand these people. Does anybody have some ibuprofen? I need to get out of here. I'm going to go sit in a hot tub or a steam room or something like that. So goodbye, poorly trained tech expert. I hope your back feels better. Anyway, then the state called a Customs and Border Patrol guy, and he told us, Anna traveled a lot. She was in and out of the country. She had 2 passports, and then he left the stand. And I was like, why did we have him here? Okay. Okay. I'm not in charge, child. I'm just sitting back watching the case, enjoying the show. I mean, the legal judicial proceedings. And then it happened. They had the canine handler up. Oh, I love a puppy. I love a puppy. And I was like, okay, can you bring the dog? What's the dog look like? Do you have pictures of the dog? I really, really want to see pictures of the dog. They didn't bring pictures of the dog. They didn't bring the dog into court. I was real sad about that. But we did find out that the dog's name was Einstein, and he's a Belgian Malinois. I don't know what that means, but the dog, and I probably pronounced it wrong, the dog didn't find anything. He only searched like the outside of the yard because inside the fence, the family dog was there, and the family dog was dog aggressive. I know we are not slandering the family dog. That cute German Shepherd is a very good boy or girl, and was like, rah, 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 rah. That dog was like, I'm sorry. Hey, dog. Hey, what's your name? Listen, I know you searching for my dead mama and stuff. First of all, she was in the basement. That's where he cut her up. But he was also like, why are you on my property? Why are you here? Come and say hello. I need to sniff your booty in greeting because that's how we do in the dog kingdom. But the canine handler was like, it would not have gone well with that other dog. My dog is classy and keeps his pinkies out. Are there pinkies on paws? Unclear. But he was like, my dog knows how to act. He got his act right fully installed. That family dog, no, he was very rude. That's not what he said, but that's the spirit of what he said. But he came up and just told us he has a real cute dog and the dog didn't find anything. Why is this witness here? Okay. And then somebody from JetBlue showed up and was like, hi, Anna traveled a lot. She used JetBlue. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. And I was like, thank you for coming. Not sure why you were here either. Then a police guy showed up and he was just like, I went to the house. And Brian was like, oh, while you're here, can I file a missing persons report? See, also, he never called the police to report his wife missing when the company that she worked for called the police and were like, can you go see what this ignorant Mama Luke did? The police showed up for a welfare check and he was like, oh, hey, great, you're here. Can I offer you a cup of tea? Also, my wife is missing. Okay, Brian, not suspicious at all. Yikes. Then they had the taxi people up. They had Uber. They had Lyft. Yes, she took taxis a whole lot. Thank you so much. Goodbye. And I was like, okay, cool. Next, the police officer who went to Brian's mom's house came up and he was like, you see them garbage cans over there, those dumpsters? Take those dumpsters and take them down to the recycling center where we could sort through and see what's in those dumpsters. Please hold. Y'all know my throat has been very tricky lately. And then they had the cops from D.C. who searched the townhouse and found nothing. And then Colonel Sanders took the stand. You think I'm kidding? Go look at pictures of the landlord of Brian and Anna Walshe and tell me you don't want a piece of fried chicken. I was just like, Colonel Sanders, hey, boo, hey, what you doing? How you doing? Welcome. He was reportedly in the Caribbean when he got this phone call. Where exactly in the Caribbean? Where did you stay? Did you get a villa? Did you rent a house? Did you do an Airbnb? Was there a hotel? Was it all inclusive? I have questions about this Caribbean vacation. I love the Caribbean. Anyway, he tells us that that the Walshes, well, actually, Brian Walsh's mama was paying the rent on the house. Really? I wish somebody was paying my mortgage, but she had paid, the house was rented in her name. The first rental agreement, the lease, was for, I think, 6 months. It was $4,800 a month. And then after a little while, it went up to $5,000 a month. Now, at this point, I was in chat over there at Emily D. Baker, and people froke all the way out at $5,000 a month rent. Am I crazy? That seemed reasonable to me. I guess it depends where you live or whatever. In the comments, tell me how much it would cost to rent like a 3-bedroom house in a nice community where you live. I'm just curious because I was like, why are people losing it over $5,000? I don't know, but that's just me. But I also live in an expensive area, so maybe that's standard. I don't know. So the landlord was like, I was collecting the rent. Brian's mama was paying for it. As an aside, we found out that this landlord and Brian's mama are now involved in a civil lawsuit. Tell me every single thing because you know I want to know all your personal business because that's what I do. See, also, I'm on a channel called Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo. Anyway, so Brian was like, hey, Colonel, hey. I mean, he probably didn't call him Colonel Sanders. He probably called him by his government name, but I didn't write it down. Anyway, he was like, hey, Colonel Sanders, hey, I would like some of them chicken strips. Also, Are there like cameras and stuff around here? Security cameras? Oh yeah, by the way, my wife is missing. We think she went to DC, but we haven't seen her since. Sir, you're real casual considering your wife is missing. How are you not like hair on fire, like, oh my God, it's terrible. We can't find my wife. What is going on? Can you help? Instead, he was like, how's the family? The Caribbean, you say, really? What's the breeze like? Are you getting nice waves? Oh, before I let you go, like, he was real casual. And I was like, guilty. Anyway, the landlord goes on to explain, yeah, Brian told me Anna was missing. I've been to the house. I know Brian. I've seen him when he gives me the rent check from his mom. All the way I want somebody to pay my mortgage for me. He was like, I see him when I get the rent check and everything. Periodically, I go to the house and I did some very, very minor repairs. I unclogged a drain, a leaky sink, a hinge was broken, whatever. But there was a big old hole in the ceiling and that was going to be a problem. Did he create that hole while he was unfortunately unaliving his wife? Obviously, he's innocent unless he gets proven guilty, but I feel like he did it, and I wonder if that hole was involved. I have many, many questions, but I guess maybe we'll get to that later in the trial. And then Colonel Sanders got off the stand. The landlord got off the stand. And the life insurance salesman got on the stand, and I was like, sir, why are you here? We know she had life insurance. The life insurance guy tells us, oh, Anna was in excellent health because they can rate your health as excellent or on your last legs. There's like a sliding scale. She was excellent health. And then the lawyers were like, wait, hang on, objection. And so the judge was just like, okay, jury gone over there someplace. We need to have a little chitty chat about Anna's health. You see, the defense is saying she died suddenly in her sleep, and then Brian, cut her into bite-sized pieces. And the prosecution is saying she was healthy. See, the health insurance people gave her like the top rating on the health insurance. So obviously she didn't just shuffle off to the endless heaven buffet of her own accord. That ignorant Mama Luke over there, he did it. But anyway, so they debate back and forth, and ultimately the judge decides, a medical expert would need to come up here and tell the jury she's in excellent health. This insurance guy can't do it. And I was like, okay, right, that seems fair. You want somebody with like medical knowledge to do that. He did point out that Brian was denied life insurance. And I was like, really? Why would Brian be denied life insurance? Despite being a useless, doughy bastard, he ain't look like he was in good health, but it's sliding scale. So maybe he was just like in moderate health, but no, because he had a high risk lifestyle. And I was like, sitting home with them kids and cheating people, that's high risk. Apparently, oh my goodness. Apparently, if you're a felon, if you have fraud charges, if you're going to prison, those things make you high risk. And I was like, oh, I thought it just meant like if you like to bungee jump and skydive or you were a pilot or something. It had not occurred to me that going to prison makes you high risk, but of course it does. So Anna had applied and received life insurance. Brian, they were like, no, girl, no, not you. We see you. Nah, you're not getting nothing from us. And so then the cops from the crime lab showed up, and then a whole bunch of gruesome pictures got shown. And I was just like, right, yeah, no. So this is what they found. The crime lab people looked at the car and they found a reddish brown substance, presumptive blood in the car, but like little trace amounts on very distinct areas of the car. They took pictures, they tested it, and they were like, he got blood up in this car. Now that's not what they said on the stand, but I'm translating for you, right? They were like, we saw a reddish brown substance and we tested it for the presumption of blood. We do not know. But in the privacy of their own head, they were like, I know this Mama Luke did not. He got blood all up in his car and his wife is missing. So, but he also goes out to point. This lab technician told us that cauliflower and beans can also cause the same reaction. Really? So, okay. If you want to commit the perfect crime, you just like spread beans all over your car, cooked beans, raw beans, rub cauliflower on everything. I have so many questions. Also, if you are a true crime fan, you might end up being really good at crime. Wait, Are we helping people crime better? I'm confused. I'm nervous. I don't want to help criminals. I just want to come onto YouTube and talk, cash shit about them. Anyway, there was a dumpster that they found over down to Brian's mama's house. And then they took these two dumpsters and they took them to the recycling center and they sorted through bag by bag and they found a bunch of Anna's clothes. They found slippers. They found rugs. They found tarps. That's the whole, right there. That's the whole, unfortunately unalive somebody kit. They found tissue, not like Kleenex. They found bodily tissue. Horrific. They found all kinds of tools that you would get like at the hardware store, saws and hammers and all kinds of stuff like that with presumptive blood on it. And they found shoes with hair and blood. Terrible. And then I was like, defense attorney, Mr. Tipton, hey, welcome back. What are you going to say about this? These are bags that, first of all, we have the receipts. We have not gotten to the receipts yet, but we've seen the receipts from Lowe's where Brian purchased all of these items. Now all these items are covered in blood in the dumpster at his mom's house. And the defense attorney was like, hey, just a couple quick questions for you. Maybe the blood got on the things from cross-contamination. You know how like if you put a saw and some boots and Anna's COVID card in her purse in a bag that has blood in it, and then the towels and stuff are in there too. Maybe the blood just came from the bottom of the bag and got on the stuff. Sure, but how'd the blood get in the bag in the first place? Well, did she have like a bloody nose and she just leaned her head in it and bled? Sir, this is not making any kind of sense. But I was like, Mr. Tipton, sir, you are out here doing the Lord's work. You might be doing the devil's work too, because that Brian Walshe, look, also, everybody deserves a good and passionate defense attorney. And this bag of snot has one. Good for him. I hope he enjoys prison. Then late in the day, outside of the presence of the jury, there was a debate back and forth. Will the jury find out that Brian Walshe has pled guilty to some of these charges? He has not pled guilty to M in the first degree. He has pled guilty to lying to police, improperly disposing of a body, and cutting her down into bite-sized pieces. And I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about the jury knowing. And so the judge is like, right, if they find out, will that prejudice the jury? Will it make them feel like he's more likely to have done it or less likely to have done it? Here's the thing that was really interesting to me. I watched the lawyer talk a bit about this. I saw lawyer Lee talk about it, and also Emily D. Baker. So all my personal attorneys have weighed in. Peter Tragos, Emily, and lawyer Lee. That's all I need. That's all the legal advice I need. And according to them, you could sort of look at this two ways. The state is saying, don't let in this information, right? The judge is saying, right, the jury might hear this and think, oh, well, he's already doing time for those other things. Maybe we won't convict him on this capital crime. The defense is saying, if the jury knows that he pled to the cutting her up part, but he's not pleading to the M1, he confessed to the part that he did, so he's an honest dude. Honest might be an overstatement. The judge is like, look, write your briefs. I'll read through them. I haven't made a decision yet. Hi, I have made a decision yet. He's guilty. Guilty of sin. Go to jail. Go directly to jail. Do not collect $200. Be stabbed immediately by another inmate. Obviously, I am not in charge of the law. I'm barely in charge of my house in North Jersey. But I was just like, okay. This is not going good for you, Brian Walshe, but I am keeping an open mind about him being an unfortunate unaliver. Maybe the defense will come up with a really good reason why it wasn't him. I don't know what that reason could possibly be. Something tells me that she did not die from SUDS, sudden unexplained death syndrome. A lot of SUDS was involved in this case when he was scrubbing stuff and trying to get blood out of a wood floor. He's a scumbag. reportedly, allegedly, in my opinion. Look, this trial marches on today. It's being live streamed everywhere. You can watch it on Law and Crime. I think also Court TV has it, unclear. I'm watching on Recovery Addict in the mornings and Emily D. Baker in the afternoon. Pretty Lies and Alibis has it. Take It to Trial is live streaming this trial. Hey girl, hey, I see you out there. Take It to Trial is a smaller channel, so if you don't want one of those big, busy, crazy chats, go over there and look at this trial on Take It to Trial. Did I say Pretty Lies and Alibis? Grizzy True Crime has it. Melanie Little has it. Everybody is streaming this trial. Regardless what happens in court, I'm going to break it down for you. You don't have time to watch 8 hours of trial. Child, don't you worry your pretty little head. I will be here every single morning the trial happens, and I will break down 8 hours of trial in just a few minutes for you. Pro tip, put my video on 2X and you'll be done like that. Although, watching me that fast might make your head explode. But be safe. Be safe. Be careful out there. Don't unfortunately unalive nobody. And you know how we do. I will see you next crime. Bye.